are 3 key indicators that I'm going to share in this video that will completely dissolve the question of whether you're in this state of the wish fulfilled or not. So that way you can stop asking yourself whether you're manifesting correctly, and you can just go back to living your life knowing it is done. Hey there, my name is Justin. Welcome back to my channel. Here, we focus on recognizing your true power as God, manifesting your dream life, and, really just having deep and profound conversations around consciousness and spirituality. There's many ways to work with me, including one-on-one coaching. I have custom subliminal and affirmation tapes, so if you're interested in any of those services, feel free to check that out. Now, one of the most common questions I receive either from my viewers on my channel or even the clients that I work with is, Justin, how do I know if I'm in the wish fulfilled, right? Like, how do I know that I've quantum shifted into the reality where I have the money, I have the SP, I have the relationship, the perfect health, whatever it is? This question is so important, but I want to first preface this by reminding you of who you truly are, because this is fundamental, right? So, your source energy, your God, your Christ consciousness, all having a human experience. I've said it a million times on my channel, but from that perspective, you got to understand that there's not necessarily a right or wrong state to be in, because the true nature of who you are is fulfillment, right? And so the avatar, the character that is that you are, that I am, is animating. So for me, Justin, right, he has the perspective that either he's fulfilled because he can observe his manifestation, right, or he's unfulfilled because there's this perception that, okay, the manifestation, and it hasn't shown up yet. Where is it, right? It's not here. So I want to make this distinction because I feel like it's important to understand that your true spiritual perspective can only be fulfillment. So the idea of unfulfillment, or that your manifestation isn't here yet, or that you're not in the wish fulfilled, right? All of those, they're ideas within the mind of the all, right? So you as God, you're so powerful that you can experience separation. You can experience the illusion of unfulfillment if you desire, because again, you're all states, you're all experiences, you're all possibilities. But you still are very much this avatar that you believe yourself to be, but that's just a small aspect of you, right? So remember, it's about understanding that you're more than just your separate human self. The character that you believe you are is just a small aspect of this more infinite being that we sometimes feel disconnected from, right? So the character feels like, well, I must not be doing enough, and I must not be in the state of the wish fulfilled because I spiraled. I spent all afternoon checking the 3D and doubting, right? And so sometimes there's this idea that I'm not in fulfillment because of X, Y, and Z. But you guys, I want you to understand that that's also an illusion that the character is believing and buying into. So a big part of this work is it's not about denying the character or dissolving the ego or pretending that your human self doesn't exist. There's actually a way that you can soothe the character, and you can even give it a glimpse of how God truly sees things, right? And so on my channel, I want to help everyone, no matter what level of consciousness you're at, what state of understanding you might be in. With this video, my intention is to soothe the character back into relief, instead of dominantly feeling anxious and unfulfilled and not good enough, because I've been there. It's a sucky fucking feeling, right? When you recognize these 3 things, I want you to just take a moment and rest back into the knowing that you truly are in the state of the wish fulfilled. And the first way I know that I've successfully entered the state is that I begin to carry this deep inner sensation of conviction, right? Despite what 3D is showing me, despite what outer reality says. So your SP might not have reached out to you, and the money might not have been reflected in your bank account, but you still have this conviction, right? This peace, this trust that, okay, I've already imagined it, I've witnessed it internally through my spiritual senses, and I've already declared and decided that this is who I am now. So you do this so much, and you get to this point, right, where you just start to chill. You're honestly in this expectation. It will be observed with your physical senses because it's already done within consciousness, right? So when the avatar is doubting and trying to grasp onto results from the outside and needing all this confirmation from the 3D and even forcing and manipulating everything, it's because from that filter, the character is operating from, I don't have it yet and it's not here. And there's this this gap between how God sees things and how the separate self sees things, right? But the state of the wish fulfilled is an inner knowing, right? That doesn't depend on outside circumstances or effort or appearances. This work is truly about trusting your inner world to be the ultimate reality, rather than letting 3D decide and letting 3D gauge as what is real and what is available to you. Another way that I know that I've quantum shifted and settled into the state of fulfillment is that the pressure of time disappears. This immediate sense of time dissolves, right? And my mind quiets, and that's how I know that I've returned to the natural state of fulfillment. And if we think about it, the mind is a prediction making machine, right? So it likes to formulate, it likes to predict outcomes based on your past experiences and what has happened in the perceived past. And that's all right, right? When it comes to surviving, when it comes to keeping you alive, that's all good and fine, right? But when it comes to reality creation, quantum shifting, manifesting your dream life, time keeps us anchored to the illusory past, right? So we have to understand and remember that all of our power is in the present moment. And you hear a lot of teachers teach this, right? They say that because it's the only moment that really exists, right? So if we think about when things actually manifest, when they actually materialize in the physical, they always do so in a present moment. So in one now moment, the money is unobservable to your physical eyes. But in another now moment, when it manifests, the unseen becomes seen. And that's honestly when people claim something to be real. Think about it. I mean, that's how the rest of the world lives. They only claim something to be true when they can observe it, right? Even when we think about success, a lot of people observe the success of others and they have this idea, right, that it must have came out of nowhere, or it happened overnight. It was sudden, or it was random, but creation is already finished. The possibility has always existed in the entirety of creation itself. And as soon as you focus, right, on the abundance, on the health, on the romantic relationship that you truly desire to experience, what happens is God goes ahead and embodies that creation, right? And it literally uses your life and it uses your character. It animates your character as an act of that expression, as a act of that fulfillment, right? But here's also what I've noticed. This reality, and even other people, they have a funny way of claiming something to be real when they see it with their physical senses. So by the time the world calls it an overnight success, I am already decided it, right? I am already chose to embody it and felt it to be real before anyone else could perceive it. So that's what I mean. The real transformation was never the moment it appeared in 3D. The world wants you to believe that, but the real transformation was the moment that they stopped asking for permission from time in the outer world to tell them what they could experience and to tell them what was available for them. It was always available for them in consciousness. This actually leads me to my third point. The third way to know that you're in the state of the wish fulfilled. And this understanding has honestly quantum shifted my reality and understanding of manifestation itself. I had my spiritual awakening almost 10 years ago. And for a long time, I was under the impression that in order to manifest something, in order to bring my desires into the 3D, I had to cultivate these huge feelings inside of me, right? So for instance, in order to manifest money, I had to feel ecstatically wealthy, right? I had to be super high vibe all the time. And honestly, I hear this a lot when people ask me, okay, well, if feeling is a secret, then how do I feel a certain way if, for instance, I've never manifested a large amount of money, right? How do I know what that feels like? And this is where the idea of feeling gets distorted, because I feel like what Neville actually meant, right, when he talked about feeling the wish is being already done. Feeling your desire is already being done. It was a feeling of naturalness that he was talking about, right? So it's about feeling like your desire is already a natural and normal part of your everyday life, right? And honestly, that's what the end feels like on an emotional level. It can feel like joy, it can feel like happiness and gratitude and all these things, right? Personally, like everything I've ever manifested, you guys, from my beautiful relationship with my SP to manifesting $7,000 in a matter of days, all of those desires felt inevitable and already available for me in a way that was like, yeah, like, okay, cool, like this is just the next step that was going to happen anyway. Once you accept your desire as already being natural and normal, you honestly, the desire stops becoming this big thing. It stops becoming this thing that, fills outside of you that has this huge charge. It loses its charge, right? And it's not to say that you no longer want it or you no longer desire it, but because you're in the awareness of already having it and it's normal for you, this is just how life is, you start to become indifferent to it, right? It feels illogical for you to experience that in your reality. Think about all the things you've already manifested, right? Like it's great and amazing, and I'm sure you're grateful for it, but at the same time it loses its appeal, right? This is where nervous system regulation relates to manifestation, right? It's all about regulating your body to accept that your desire, whether it's money, whether it's love, whatever, that it's normal for you, for your body to have an experience in your reality. This is how we sustain our manifestations, right? We sustain our desires by normalizing them to where having the SP or the money, where it feels so normal that it no longer feels like a peak emotional experience. It just feels like life. It feels stable, it feels safe, it feels ordinary, and I mean it almost feels boring. This is what I truly believe Neville also meant when he said that you've reached the Sabbath state. It's a sense of rest. It's a place within you of trust that it's done, not because you feel super high vibe or overwhelmingly excited. It's because you feel naturally at home in the version of reality where it's already yours. And honestly, when you're in the state of the wish fulfilled, you stop asking if you're in the state. You just rest in your decision, right? You return back to your I amness. You return back to your inner senses. You feel the conviction, right, within you that it doesn't matter what the world is showing you. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You stop negotiating with 3D, because the truth is, manifestation, you guys, it was never about getting something outside of you. It was never about even selecting something that was new. It was about selecting the version of reality in the all that was already there, that was already created, because creation is finished. And reality, honestly, was just waiting for you to accept what was always yours, what has always been available for you. If this video helped you guys, if it helped you soothe your mind, regulate your nervous system, if it gave you even a small sense of relief, then that alone is a beautiful sign that something within you is already shifting. And if you feel called to go a little bit deeper into this work, really embody the life you know is meant for you, then let's work together. I love to have you. I love to, assist you along on this journey in any and every way I can. I really want everyone to have the ability, to have the opportunity to transform their life like never before. All of that information, again, is in the description below. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.